On the island of Newfoundland, upon the southwest coast, lies the little town of Virgil, to whom I'll sing this toast. There are so many highlands that lie just off her shore, and when the cold north wind blows, you can hear the billows roar. The people from the village make their living from the sea. They like their independence, it shows that they are free. Some fish in their small boats in the wind, the rain and sleet, while others make their living on the offshore trawler fleet. They've known their share of tragedies down through the years, and when the memories overcome, they show their grief with tears. For they have lost some loved ones to the furies of the seas, for heartaches and heartbreaks are locked in memories. This village, it's got beauty carved on its rugged shore. 7 miles of pure white sand, who could ask for more? The mountains and the valleys, where the rivers run so fast, and the salmon rise to the sportsman's fly as he makes another cast. Tell the people of this village love their native home, for anyone who goes away most surely will return. Just like that lifelong mystery, the answer you won't know. What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul? What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul?
Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have moose sighting, back to school, principal's report. Please stay tuned for these stories after this.
We are kids.
Wish kids.
10,000 kids.
We are brave.
We are strong.
We are fighters. Some days are good, some days are bad.
Some of us make it.
Some of us don't.
My wish will make me strong.
The Children's Wish Foundation of Canada.
Does a wish make a difference?
You bet.
You bet.
Imagine the difference a wish can make.
Only 2 more needles till my wish.
Please give today.
On Tuesday morning, a moose was spotted around the Tree Ponds area. I took my camera to have a look. It appeared to be a young bull. The moose was also spotted running through the trailer court area. School opened on Tuesday afternoon. The students went to school at 1 p.m. to get registered and got introduced to their new homeroom teachers, explained any new regulations, and given textbooks. Regular classes started for them on Wednesday morning.
You can move around and play for a while. There's dolls and things in here, and there's books. Lots of books, and lots of books on this side over here. Lots of books in here. Find something to play with.
And as if it keeps happening, you'll face suspension, stuff like that, okay? But Mr. Penny will talk about this even in the assembly more, okay? They'll talk to you about that. What else?
Mr. Penny, the Burgeo Academy principal, asked me over to do a school report. While mentioning the new staff members, he accidentally omitted Stephanie Benight as the CIS coordinator.
Hello, thanks for coming in again, Maxine. It's a long time since we've done this, but obviously everybody's aware now, school's opened this past Tuesday, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome everyone back. And I say everyone because obviously our students are important to us, our teachers and our staff, and especially our parents. And I want to welcome everybody back to school. The summer went very quickly, weather's been beautiful, and still seems to be continuing that way. So along with the welcome, I want to wish everybody all the best this year, and to let the parents and the community know that if there's ever any questions or concerns, by all means give me a call. My door is open as much as possible, so if you want to pop in, you certainly can. I've asked Maxine to come in, so we'll run through a few things. A number of things have gone on with students. If not at this point, there will be letters going on with regards to some issues that's coming up, some new policies we have in place. Also, we have a curriculum night on Monday the 21st, and I certainly strongly encourage all parents to come out. Meet with their teachers. K to 6 parents will meet with their teachers in their child's homeroom, while 7 to 12 parents will be down in the gymnasium. And teachers will be set up as usual at a table, and parents can just kind of rotate and speak to the teachers. They'll have information there on the courses that they'll be teaching, and basically a meet and greet, as well as after that, and that'll be at 7 o'clock. So around 7:45 or 8 o'clock, there will be a few snacks down in the gymnasium, and again, strongly encourage parents to come in. One big thing right now that's on our plate, I guess, as well as province-wide, national, international-wide, is the H1N1 influenza. And right now, there's been pamphlets that has been gone on with all children. I strongly encourage parents to please have a look through that if you haven't already done so. Read through it with your kids, and basically they're calling it the 3 C's. First C is for clean. Make sure that your students, or your kids, when they come into school, are washing their hands as much as possible before they handle things and when they're finished. That goes with the washrooms, computer lab, gymnasium, anything that basically they're touching in the school. And what's happening, it's not in place right yet. We've been told very shortly we will get the rub sanitizers in all our classrooms, gymnasiums, computer labs, library, and teachers, staff, parents, and the outside communities coming in, members, all students are expected to wash their hands when entering those rooms and when leaving. And they say that that is the best way that we can fight this thing. And again, that kids will learn and I guess live by example, and we're responsible for that. The second C is to, not in particular order, but to contain. If your child is not feeling well, and you'll know that as a parent, then they shouldn't be in school if they got flu-like symptoms. Flu versus cold, I know there's a very somewhat a fine line, but not a fine line there. But you know when your child's not feeling well, and if they shouldn't be in school, they shouldn't be. And the same with us, that we feel they're in school and they seem to be coming down with something, not feeling well, we will certainly make the call home, and you'll be required to come pick up your child. And the other one is to cover. The final C, and what they're asking is that when kids need to sneeze, they sneeze into their clothing, maybe it's a shirt sleeve, sweater or whatnot, or if they got tissues to cover their mouth, not to be sneezing in their hands. I know that's probably something that we're all used to doing, but they're saying that that's what students shouldn't be doing, and well, not students, but everyone. We will have tissues in all of our classrooms starting Monday, September the 14th. And again, certainly if a student or parents got a box of tissues at home that they want to send in with their child, by all means. No doubt it's going to be a little bit expensive for whoever's going to be flipping the bill for the tissues throughout the year. We've done it in the past, but we haven't added mandatory. Now we're asking to be mandatory. So on that, I mean, tied in with that every year this time, I mean, there's the itch and there's the lice. Mainly is to use a lot of common sense. I think that's what a lot of health professionals will tell us, and that's what's been told to us, that kids should not be sharing clothing, sharing combs, brushes, caps, whatever, and to keep themselves as clean as possible, and using, like I said, the hand sanitizer when they're coming here, when we get them, and to when they're using the washroom, wash their hands thoroughly, 15 to 20 seconds, they say, before using the washroom. It's probably strange for some people, for some students, as well as when they're finished, to be washing their hands. I'd like to also certainly, I guess not introduce, but to welcome, we have 4 new teachers on our staff this year. We've got a new kindergarten grade 1 teacher, Gloria Compton, who's not new to anybody here, but been teaching in Ramsey for the last 2 or 3 years. And actually, she's replacing Mrs. Penny this year. Mrs. Penny will be the guidance counselor for the coastal schools. So obviously here in Burgeo, Ramsey, Grey River, and Francois. That's a pilot project, so we'll see how that's going to go for this year. She will be at Burgeo Academy for the most of the time, but we'll do some traveling to those schools, weather permitting, and all that throughout the year. So I want to welcome Gloria. We have a new phys ed teacher this year, Miss Megan Cooper. She's previously taught in I think it was the northern part of Newfoundland or southern part of Labrador. Can't recall which now. We've got a new math teacher, Mr. Christopher Byrne, and finally we have Miss Jennifer Han, again, who's familiar to all of us, who will be here doing the French this year. So again, I want to welcome all those teachers here, as well as returning teachers. Looking forward to another great year. And again, during curriculum night, as I mentioned earlier, that there's a nice chance for parents to come out and meet those new teachers as well as the ones returning. We have a couple new policies that we're changing this year. First one is cell phones. We are banning cell phones completely in our school. Only adults, and that's, I mean, staff members who work here for emergency purposes, are they permitted to bring cell phones. Outside of that, teachers and students are not permitted to bring them into the school. We've had issues last year. We suspect of cheating, a lot of text messaging on the go, a lot of bullying in amongst those text messages, and we're following the process with a lot of schools right now that cell phones are just not allowed here. Until this information gets out to all the parents, and again, this will go into the letter very shortly, there'll be a warning right now, cell phones will be taken if they're here. Once everybody's aware of it, Basically, the first time then, students are seen with a cell phone, and that could be on the school grounds. They cannot come in school with a cell phone. We will take it. Parents have to pick it up, or they don't get it back. Second time, I will be keeping it for the week, or it will stay here in school for a week. Parents pick it up. And the third time, there will most likely be a suspension put in place. So we're treating it very serious, and I ask that students and parents and all teachers and whatnot to please follow the policy and to leave the cell phones at home. I see no reason why they should be here, and that goes for dinner times, after schools, absolute no-no with cell phones. We've got our grades 4-5 students are going to Kill Devil Camp this year. That's the end of the month. I think it's the 28th of September, the 29th, and the 30th. Sometime this week, I'm open that we will have a meeting with the parents, Mr. Short and myself, and parents will be notified on that. We're also making our school a scent-free school. We have a number of our teachers, a number of our students that are allergic to strong perfumes, aftershaves, and whatnot, and we're asking students to not be bringing the items in the school. I know after phys ed they've been bringing in the underarm deodorant, the spray stuff, the Axe, I think it's called, and some students have been abusing that and just spraying it throughout upstairs, we'll say, in some of the classrooms is unnecessary, so we're asking that to stay home. And again, for teachers, any students who wear perfumes like some aftershaves that have a strong smell to it, to avoid that. A lot of places right now have scent-free. The hospital, we go to a lot of our meetings outside, it's scent-free, so we're just following in line with a lot of those places. Reminder to all students about bikes. When bringing bikes to school, for safety reasons, when they come on school grounds, they should park their bikes immediately in front of the school. There's a bike rack there. Yes, it fills up very quickly, but students are given permission to lodge their bikes up against the building, as long as it's not in front of the main doorway or the fire exit. If students want to ride their bike, let's say they leave home at 12:30, come back to school, they can stay off school grounds and ride their bike, not a problem. When they come on school grounds, we've asked that they will park their bikes, or else they will not have the opportunity to bring their bikes on school grounds. So parents, please speak to your kids about that. Sign-outs, we've had some issues with sign-out in the past. Some students have been abusing it, and right now we're asking that if a student is not feeling well, that yes, the call will go at home, but someone have to come pick the kids up. In the past, they've called home, parents said, okay, they're allowed to walk home, certainly students in grade 7 to 12. That's not going to be allowed anymore. Parents will have to pick them up. If they're too sick to be sitting in class, they're too sick to be walking home. If a parent can't pick them up, don't have a vehicle, and if we believe that they are legitimately sick, we will find a way home for them. But for sign-up purposes, like I said, we're going to get a little more stricter on that. Now there will be some cases like if kids got to go to the main hall, the city hall, to our town hall to do road tests or written tests. Once a call goes on, permission there to walk, we will allow, but for sickness purposes, they will stay in school until someone pick them up, or we find alternate rides home. Same with lateness. There's a reminder that students have to be in school at 8:49 in the morning, in their home rooms at 8:49, as well as at 12:59 after lunch, and certainly throughout the day, in between classes, they are to go directly to their classes. If not, they will get a late slip, and they have to pass that to their teacher. After 5 lateness, they will be warned with a letter going home. The further latenesses will be detentions, possible suspensions, and further discipline from the school. So encourage your kids to get to school on time. They don't live that far away. We're very fortunate. We have a lot of students in our province who are traveling upwards of an hour each way to school, and we got obviously nowhere near that. There's no reason why students can't be in school on time. And when I say in the home rooms, some students are coming into school on time, then they're hanging around the hallways, they're hanging around in the washrooms, not paying attention to the bell, then wondering why they're late. Homerooms at 8:49 and at 12:59. Absenteeism, we are in the process of very shortly of doing up a policy on absenteeism. Basically, the consequences from students missing too much school. It's one thing I think we were always very fortunate with. Something was very positive for our school was attendance was always very high and very good. And it seems like that in the last few years, it's starting to get. I can't say it's getting real bad, but it's starting to decrease, and we're going to put some plans in place for absenteeism tied in with the graduation, allowed to miss so many days, unexcused, even excused, as well as extracurricular events and whatnot, other activities throughout the year. So, students have to be in school up under the age of 16, and after that, if they want to attend regularly, they have to be here. And obviously, we all know the importance of being in school and to get the education. That's what we're here for. Certainly want to encourage students to get involved in as many of the activities we have in our school, the extracurricular. A lot of our teams, or actually all of our teams, the volleyball, basketball, and so on, floor hockey and whatnot, will be up and running again this year. Choir, drama, our student council, I encourage students to please get involved. Most of it, yes, is for students in 7 to 12. A lot of activities, yes, is still for our younger ones, morning exercise, after school sports, even the cross country running now that's already started. Students in grades 4 to 12 are invited to attend. Encourage students to get involved as much as possible. We know that Burgeo doesn't have a lot to offer outside. We got our rink and all that, and our ball field, absolutely, and it's wonderful, but a lot of things students can get involved in school can make their schooling a lot more fun, enjoyable, and they don't need to be get around bored all the time. There are things to get involved in. Also with that is our school council. Our school council will be meeting sometime this coming week. We will then find out if we need new members for the year. And if we do, we will put that on TV. And, I would encourage people to get involved in our school council. It's a place that if there are concerns, questions people may have for the school, it's an avenue there that we can use there, and we need people on that. Not too short numbers now. I believe it's something like 2 parent members and 3 community members. Might be vice versa. I don't have the information on me right now, but we will certainly let you know that. And I believe our school council have worked well in the past, and I expect we'll do the same in the future. Outside of that, the only thing that I have right now is there are a couple of closeout days coming up, and I will notify everyone now, so it's in case parents want to make plans for various things. October the 9th, that's on a Friday, the Friday before Thanksgiving weekend, so it's an extra long weekend for the students. All the teachers have an in-service here at Burgeo Academy, as well as October the 22nd and 23rd. I believe that's a Thursday and a Friday. That's a district-wide closeout. All teachers will be in Corner Brook for those 2 days for meetings. So that's what's coming up. There will be 2 other closeout days throughout the year, most likely after Christmas. I don't have the dates for those right yet, but as soon as I do, I will let the community know. And on that note, I believe that's everything. I'm sure I have forgotten something. I'd ask the parents and community to please keep watching BBS. We will be putting things on BBS as we see the need. And then if there's anything I've forgotten, it will go there. And again, want to welcome everyone back and wish everyone all the best this year, and students all the best. And if everyone works hard and does what they're supposed to do, I think we'll have a fantastic year. Thank you. I'm sorry.
So how many children registered this year?
Good question. Now, we've had 4 students come in. There's 4 kindergartens. We've had 4 new students transfer to our school. And with the loss of some students, I think 1 grade 5 student have left. With the students who graduated last year, I'm going to say my numbers are around 138, 140. The final numbers I don't have right yet, but something I can certainly put on the BBS when our final numbers are done. And officially, I had to send my the numbers into the school board at the end of September. So that's usually the process there. But right now, I'm going to say around 140 is what we got. So numbers have dropped drastically in the last number of years, 140, and that's K to 12. But that's where we're to right now.
So you said 4 came into kindergarten?
4 kindergarten students. Yeah.
How many is in the graduating class?
Actually, the graduating class, that's a very small group. That's 6 students. That was a small group that came in. Probably the smallest group we've had come in our school probably in years and years. But we have 6 students graduating this year.
Oh, I see. Do you expect any foreign exchange students this year?
Right now, I've got no information on that. I know that some parents had spoken to myself or Floss or Mrs. Billard in June saying they were interested. But I have not received anything from the EF Foundation, which was the exchange group that we dealt with in the past. I don't know if that they're just kind of working that out, I guess involve other schools. Maybe their numbers are low, I don't know. But as of right now, we have no intentions of having EF students in our school, which is too bad. I must say, I think our kids in our community have enjoyed having those students in the past. Financially, it's good for our school because our school actually get a fair bit of money from those students attending, and I know that parents who've taken those students have obviously been getting money, obviously for board, whatnot. So, like I said, if there's any way possible, and that's something that can happen anywhere throughout the year. I mean, someone will be contacting me next week for that. It could be after Christmas. It would be good if it was at the beginning of the year, and most of it is, but that's something that could happen anytime through.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and hopefully we'll, I've said this last year, I'll try to do as much as we can. I think last year was only once or twice, but it just seemed like time flies, and if we get a chance to do it again, that'll be fabulous. And I think
This concludes our program for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.